Directed by Tim Burton, Wednesday's Netflix series shows Wednesday Addams starting school at Nevermore, where an underlying monster is threatening the woods. She's solving an old family drama Wednesday is investigating in this Netflix series. Welcome to Screen Zen. Welcome back, viewers. My name is Jason, and this spoiler review of Wednesday's Netflix series. We're going to get into some of the people that I liked in the cast, some standouts, even some things that I didn't like in the cons, and my overall thoughts. Let's start with some of the cast and standout. I will start off the bat. Thing was really a helping hand, pun intended. He comes in clutch in so many situations, especially when setting up plans for Wednesday. He even breaks a character out of a police car towards the end of the series. You see how useful he is to the family and how he feels about his treatment by Wednesday. He goes hard for the Addamses, all right? I'm glad that he was in it. He was a great side character. Didn't say a word, but was able to show so much emotion just from the digits moving, how he was sitting, and all of that. So great job to the hand actor who played Thing. Another person I have to talk about is Christina Ricci, the OG Wednesday. Made her way into this show, and it was good to see. I'm just glad that she wasn't kind of playing similar lines as her old Wednesday character of being like Wednesday. There's already a Wednesday there. She was actually a teacher who works at Nevermore. You come to find out that, she's not all good. She's actually looking to resurrect the big bad Crackstone, an old pilgrim resurrected. She just comes off as a very lovable, light, bright character. Apparently, she's the only normal person at Nevermore. Nevermore sits within a town that is full of normal people who are pretty much ancestors of the pilgrims who, used to burn the witches. So they found a way to kind of live, for now, in harmony. And Christina Ricci's character is an outreach program where the normal teacher would come and teach at the Nevermore school in order for that relationship between the town and the school to take hold and continue. She was really showing herself supporting Wednesday and really wanting to be in her life, but it gets to the point in the later episodes where she's a little bit too chummy with her, and she's always around, and you get suspicious of her for good reason. She's actually the one that sets off everything. I can't go without talking about Jenna Ortega. Jenna was perfect as Wednesday. Now, she's playing an older Wednesday. Even if you think about Christina Ricci's Wednesday, she was at a certain age. Now, and if you look at the Addams family, like from the black and white TV show, she's like a little girl. Then Christina Ricci's Wednesday was a little bit more grown up, but Jenna Ortega's starting high school. So I kind of saw the progression of a Wednesday Addams from the people playing her. Shouts out to Tim Burton for making the decision to grow her up a little bit, not to be like in middle school or anything. And I think it brings the drama that is wanted and watchable in this show. I didn't know what it would look like for a character like Wednesday who's so emotionally one-dimensional to show emotions. So even Jenna did a great job of, she was shocked. She laughed sometimes, but it wasn't too much. She was still Wednesday Addams, but it was like she was showing her emotion her own way, and I think it came across from beginning to end perfectly. I have to give some honorable mentions. So Joy Sunday, she played the siren Bianca, and she starts as an adversary, but then later grows into being someone who has the respect of Wednesday, and Wednesday has her respect. They kind of, dead the beat for the task at hand as finding the monster that's in the woods, killing people. She did an amazing job. The scenes with her and her mother were very well done. You get the understanding of what her life is like away from Nevermore. Fred Arison. Whoa. Uncle Fester. Can't say enough about this guy. He did a great job. I loved him in his scenes. His voice reminded me of the animated Fester, and we see him giving Wednesday her support and what she needs. And there's even a scene where Thing gets hurt, gets stabbed literally to the wall, and he has to, with his electricity powers, revive him. That was an emotional scene in itself, but just having him there as a side character was great to see. Emma Myers, who played Edith Sinclair, was able to balance out Wednesday. She's very bubbly, bright, looks on the bright side of things, loves life. And Wednesday's literally the complete opposite of that. I think she did a great job of balancing Wednesday, because there was a lot of contrast between Wednesday's character and what is to be, I assume to be one of her best friends. Find out, because everyone at Nevermore has lineage with some type of monster or something, but she ends up being a werewolf. Her mom and dad come there, is like, when are you gonna change? It's like that puberty thing, putting pressure on her to become a 100% a werewolf. And she's pretty much like, you know what, I'll do it my time when I'm ready. And I think that played out very well. And just seeing her relationship with her parents, and then even later in the series, as we kind of get to them finding the monster, she does fight as a werewolf. I wasn't too keen on how she kind of looked. She still had like her pink kind of bubbly hairdo, which is kind of weird to me. I think as an actress and a role of balancing out Wednesday Addams, she did an amazing job. Besides the cast, some of the things that I liked that kind of stood out to me was just seeing the Addams family on screen. So we get Morticia, Gomez, Pugsley, and even, like I mentioned, Uncle Fester. It was good to see the family. Seeing Wednesday's relationship to them really allowed the audience more into the Addams family. With Morticia, we have Wednesday, being very cold to her in the beginning, like, I don't want to touch, I don't want to hug, but even as she's like going into school. But then, towards the end, she's, doesn't mind giving her a hug. It's like she grew a little bit during this, able to kind of rectify or even save, in some sense, the mother-daughter relationship. Some scenes with Gomez, we find out that he was being framed for a murder that happened when he was at Nevermore, behind bars, and Wednesday goes to visit him. After all is said and done, reflects that, you raised me to be strong, independent, and you did a good job raising me, pretty much. Even as cold as she said it, Gomez was like, wow, thanks, like I never thought I'd hear that from you. That was a very good moment. We find out that Gomez and Morticia were once a part of a secret society at Nevermore, where Wednesday was able to look around the campus, find the clues, and find the entrance to. So this is where she kind of goes, and of course, 2 snaps to get in. Of course, she gets kidnapped, but then she finds that some of the students that she was beefing with is actually a part of this. And she finds out that her mother and father were also a part of this legacy. When asked if she wants to join, she said, no, I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to be like my mother. And I'm going to do my own thing. But the fact of the matter is, she was able to find the secret entrance by herself with all the clues that were left around campus. So I thought that was done really well. Episode 3. That dance scene was amazing. She goes to a dance with Tyler. Jenna Ortega, I'm sure you heard the news. She choreographed this dance. She had COVID while doing all of this dance. You don't expect to see Wednesday dancing, but when she does, she's dancing like a zombie, like a ghoul, like a living dead person. Jenna took some dance moves from the black and white original 1960s Addams Family. She does the little girl, you know what I mean, shake and shimmy. She does her father's like tango. She knocked it out the park. If she says that she's not a choreographer, she's not a dancer, I think she might get some work in those areas after this. Just even if small, she did her thing on that. One of the other scenes that I really liked, where the Nevermore students are invited on their yearly invite out, where they work in the normal town, kind of a show of Crackstone, the founder of the town, her ancestor almost being killed by him. You could think about the Salem witch trials and all of that. Well, there you go. If her ancestor didn't live, then there would be no Addams family. In the town square, the Nevermore kids are playing music for him, and this reminded me a lot of Addams Family Values, where she goes to the summer camp and they're doing like a Native American thing, but then she like burns the place down. Well, there was fire in this one. She's up there playing on her, her cello, and Thing gives Thing the signal, and he lights the match, and the crackstone statue pretty much melts, and everyone's running. It just gave me Addams Family Value vibes, and I loved it. Now, there's a little triangle happening between Wednesday, Xavier, and Tyler. Even at the end, when you find out Tyler is actually what's called the Hyde, or the monster, where he transforms himself into a monster and he does all the killing, I didn't see that coming, because he was helping her all throughout the way. Xavier was around at the wrong moments, and it just seemed like that dude might be... I was pointing my fingers at him heavy, and it turns out to be Tyler, and I did not see that twist coming, but just that whole setup was done beautifully. I like not knowing what's going on, or, as I'm watching it. I like to be surprised, and I was truly surprised at this. All right, now it's time to get into some of the cons. It was great to see the Addams family on screen once again. I didn't like the lack of backstory of some of the other Addams family members. We got a lot of Morticia, Gomez, but what I didn't really see are any other family members. This is season 1. This show is super successful, so I do hope that we're getting a season 2. I would love to see more of this, where they can fit that in. Because they were doing so many flashbacks, they could have gotten it all out the way, with this. But there was a lot of story to tell. There was a lot of mystery to it. But it would have been good to see, Uncle Fester's backstory. Maybe even Thing. Like, maybe Thing was a dismembered hand of a student that they knew at Nevermore. They could have fit that in easily, because Thing was always around. Another pet peeve of mine that I didn't truly understand, Wednesday goes into the principal's office because she gets in trouble a lot, because she's investigating certain things, sticking her nose where she shouldn't be. But she went to that principal's office like 5 or 6 times. Any normal student would have been like tossed out of the school by like the 3rd time. So she just kept getting chance after chance after chance. It was a little unrealistic, but I knew she had to be there in order to drive the story further, to solve the mystery of her father, who was blamed for killing a student. Come to find out, it's Morticia who actually killed him, and they were battling it out because the student liked her, she liked Gomez. It was a whole love thing. The guy was attacking Gomez, but she had a sword, stabbed him, but it got blamed on Gomez. So going into the principal's office 5 or 6 times and nothing really happens to you, that's kind of unrealistic. One last thing that I think was a con, and this is really a nitpick, is Enid's love felt unneeded. Like, she had an interest in one of the students, but I don't think it was needed. If she would have stayed as like a contrast to Wednesday, I would have been okay with that. I know they wanted to flesh these characters out, and I'm happy that she found true love and she became able to be a werewolf. Compared to everything else that was going on, this is actually fell to the bottom of the things that I liked the most. So just to wrap this up with some of my thoughts, Tim Burton did an amazing job. Jenna Ortega definitely set a new standard for Wednesday. I went into this thing with Christina Ricci on my mind, and this kind of blew all that out, you know what I mean? So if you like what you see here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to become a viewer. Let's chat. Put your thoughts about Wednesday in the comments below, and let's have a discussion. Hit that like button. I'll see you in the future.